Hey everyone, Cosmic Mango here, your favorite mango from outer space. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a brand new deck that I recently built on a total budget. I think right now, if you were to buy this deck, it will cost you like $70, $75, something like that, which isn't too bad. The commander I've chosen is Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker, if you can see it. This commander is both strong, fun to play, it's fantastic, okay? So yeah, let's check out the deck. Okay guys, yeah, so here is the commander, Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker. Costs 4 generic mana to cast and 1 black mana, and it has 2 power, 2 toughness. It's a legendary creature spirit, and it says the following. Whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may return target card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step, if Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker, is still on the battlefield. So yeah, this is a very interesting commander. Revolves around us bringing back our creatures from the dead, preferably creatures which have very nice abilities when they enter or when they die. By doing this, we can drain life, we can destroy opponent's creatures, discard cards, draw cards as well for ourselves, deal damage to certain creatures on the board. It's really nice. There are a lot of amazing cards in the deck. How the deck tries to win, you'll probably see the cards inside, but it's pretty simple. I'm going to try and drain opponents' lives down as fast as I can, and I've got a lot of spells in there to help me do that. So, without further ado, let's check out this deck. So within the deck, we have 32 creatures, 36 lands, we have 20 instant sorceries, 7 artifacts, and 4 enchantments. I think we'll just quickly go over the lands because that's like, you know, the quickest and probably most boring part. And there's only 2 non-basic lands in here which are a little bit different, and that is Mortieri Maya, which is a land, and it says when Mortieri Maya enters the battlefield, tapped. When Mortieri Maya enters the battlefield, you may put the target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, which is really cool. I can use this to get my best creatures back from the dead and put them back on top of our library. So it can help us out of a tough situation should we need something back. And the other non-basic land is Witch's Cottage, which is a swamp, a land swamp, and it says Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other swamps. When Witch's Cottage enters the battlefield untapped, you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. Again, a great way to get back one of our best creatures should Shirei, our commander, not be available. And then we have 34 basic lands, which are just swamps. So I've got 34 swamps in here. I've tried to put all my best and nicest swamps inside the deck. As you can see, this one from Final Fantasy with the dragon is so cool. I wish I had like 34 of these, but I don't. But it's cool. I've got some other nice ones in here. The full art ones are my favorite. They're really beautiful. Make the deck pop a bit. So yeah, that's the lands out of the way. Now, let's go over the most important aspect of the deck, and that is the creatures. So we have 32 creatures in this deck. The only way I've organized them really for this video is by mana. So, okay, we have Death Greeter. Remember, any creature which has power 1 or less is going to be superb in this deck because we can recur it back if it dies with Shirei. It's something very important that we have to remember. It's really fun. I love this deck. Okay, so Death Greeter. Whenever another creature is put into your graveyard from play, you may gain 1 life. Great, gain some life. Viscera Seer, very important to the deck. I can use this to sacrifice a creature and scry 1. I'm gonna wanna be sacrificing a lot of creatures with the deck, so these ones are very important. And he only costs 1 mana, so gets out quickly, starts getting the job done. Serodata Scorpion. When the Scorpion dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Great for draining life. Golden Familiar, cute little cat. Couldn't resist putting this into the deck. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, which is great. More drain. This one, sacrifice a food. It's not so relevant. Blood Pet. Sacrifice Blood Pet. Add 1 black mana to your mana pool. Very nice. It's going to help us ramp up. And as you know, black doesn't really have the best mana ramp in the game. Of course, there's There's some great stuff like Dark Ritual, but I haven't got it in this deck, it's a little bit expensive. Remember, I tried to build this on a budget. Carrion Feeder, again, a 1 mana, which is gonna let me sacrifice a creature, and then I get a 1/1 counter as well on this, which is nice. But the main reason we have it is for that sacrifice a creature effect. So good. We need to be able to sacrifice creatures easily in this deck so that we can take full abuse, full throttle effects with this guy. Vengeful Blood Witch. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. More drain. Basal Frau, an old school card. I like this one, the art's fun. Sacrifice Basal Frau to add 2 black mana to your mana pool. Play this ability only as an interrupt. Great, so I can use this to, again, build up my mana base. So sacrifice it, it's going to come back because it only has 1 power, so great stuff. Nezumi Informant. When it enters battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Great for disrupting plans. Novice Occultist. No, Novice Occultist. Anyway, whatever. When it dies, you draw a card, lose 1 life. Great. And I love the art. This black and white effect really makes it pop. Perilous Mer. When it is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Super good. Helps me take creatures out and slowly drain target players. Elder Fan Disciple, when it enters, each opponent discards a card, which is great. Great for disrupting plans. Dusk Legion Zealot, when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's going to help me draw cards. Bloodthrone Vampire, sacrifice a creature. Bloodthrone Vampire gets +2/+2 till end of turn. We don't care so much about the +2/+2, we care about that sacrifice creature ability. Very good. Abyssal Gatekeeper. Is it put into the graveyard from play? Each player chooses and buries a creature he or she controls. Buries basically means sacrifice, so when this dies, I can get it back from Charade, and then every player has to sacrifice a creature. It's going to help us dwindle down our opponent's creatures on the board. This actually is a bit of a sleeper here. A lot of people aren't aware of this card, and it really is good. Virus Beetle. Enters, each opponent discards a card. Some more discards effects here. Soul Davy Adnet. Sacrifice a black or artifact creature to add an amount of black mana equal to that creature's casting costs. So yeah, we can use this to help us ramp up. Now we need to remember that Charade does cost 5 total mana, which is quite a bit for a mono black deck. So we need to find ways to ramp up into it as fast as we can, and this can help us do that. So solid card. Clattering Augur. Can't block. When it enters battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Great for card draw. Tattered Mummy. When it dies, each opponent loses 2 life. Really nice drain. Burglar Rat. When it dies, each opponent discards a card. Disrupt plans. Zulaport Cutthroat. Whenever Zulaport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Super. Blood Artist. Everyone knows what Blood Artist does. One of the best things about this deck actually is the majority of the cards that are listed in here are cards you most probably have in your collection. So when I built this deck, I only had to order around 30 cards, the majority I had. So it didn't cost as much as I thought it was going to cost. It was very easy to build. But anyway, yeah, Blood Artist, everyone knows this one. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Big Game Hunter. This is a great one. Brilliant piece of removal for this deck. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. It can't be regenerated, but we can pay it for its madness cost. So if you discard this card or discard it into exile, when you do, cast it for its madness cost instead. But we're not really doing that actually. I don't know why I read that bit. The main thing about this deck, about this card, which is so cool in this deck, is that it has that 1 power. So we can bring it in, destroy a creature, sacrifice it, bring it back with Charade, and then destroy a creature again. Repeat the loop. Very good. Bone Shredder. Flying, echo free. When Bone Shredder enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. So very similar to Big Game Hunter. Very good. Cadaver Imp, flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the hand. Brilliant piece of kit to get back a creature which we've missed along the way and we want to get back into our hand. Ayara of the Loft Train, it's going to sacrifice a creature, draw a card, which is great. And whenever another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So nice Pit of Drain. Morbid Opportunist. Whenever one or more creatures die, draw a card. This ability only triggers only once each turn. Nice bit of card draw. Vindictive Vampire. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. So you can see all the ping effects and drain effects we've got going on in the deck. There's a lot of them. When they're all combined and it's all working and synergizing well together, you can drain the board very quickly, which is a blast. Falconwrath Noble, flying. When Falconwrath Noble or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Sadistic Hypnotist. So it does cost 5 mana, this one, a little bit pricey, but it gives me that powerful keyword here, which is sacrifice a creature. And then target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. Play this ability only anytime you could play a sorcery. So yeah, this is high disruptive, very powerful card in the deck. This card is so cool. I mean, look at this thing, straight from the Final Fantasy booster box. I love this one. It's Sir Conrad the Grim, or in this predicament, it's called Colbert's Clad in Darkness. And legendary creature, Human Knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Colbells deals 1 damage to each opponent. So you can do so much damage with this guy. It's pretty nuts. And then for 2, each player mills a card. Nice, if you've got extra mana to spare, why not? And finally, the last card on the list is Grey Merchant of Asphodel. I talk about this card a lot on the channel. If you're running a mono black deck, this is a heavy hitter and can act as a win condition. When Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So this is massive. If we have enough creatures and permanents on the board, and we end up having a massive devotion to black, we can literally use this to end the game. Drain whatever remaining life our opponents have, or use it to help us gain a lot of life. Super solid card, fantastic actually. I just really wish it had 1 power, because then we could do some really nutty stuff with these 2 combined. But it's okay, we have other ways of bringing it back from the dead with the deck. We can use it again, but yeah, solid card, very good. So those are the creatures. Next, let's go over the artifacts. We have 7 artifacts in the deck. So the basics, Swiftfoot Boots and Lightning Greaves. We're going to be using this to protect our commander. Since it does cost 5 mana, which is quite a bit, we do not want to get it removed. We don't want to get it removed at all, especially early game. So we can add these to our commander just to protect it, keep it safe. Solid card, staples, everyone knows about these 2. Then we've got our mana rocks. We've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, which is pretty decent, and Fort Vessel. You have no maximum hand size, which could come in handy here. I am drawing a lot of cards in the deck. Finally, we have Desecrated Tomb, which is a bit of a fun card. I haven't used it too much, but it's been good, it's been decent. Whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. So we've got a lot of creatures leaving the graveyard with our commander, so we can quickly build up an army of bats with flying, which is decent. We can use those to help deal a lot of damage over the game. Okay, next we have enchantments, and we have 4 in this deck. First one is Bastion of Remembrance, solid card. When it enters, you get 1/1 Human Knight, yeah, whatever, but the next bit is very good. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So yeah, nice drain. We want as much drain as possible. This can help us do it. Gaia's Ghost Form, which is a really cool card. I use this in loads of my deck that have black in. Enchant creature or planeswalker, in this case most likely enchanting this one. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control, which is very nice. We could even use this on Grey Merchant of Asphodel, so things could get quite interesting there, yeah? Find ways to use this ability twice on a turn. Agent of the Iron Throne. Command the creatures you own have whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Very nice, good drain here. And finally, Cultist of the Absolute. Commander creatures you own get +3/+3 and have flying, death touch, ward, pay 3. This is all very nice. This is going to give us some evasive damage or some blocking abilities. Death touch is good as well. Flying is fantastic. 3/3, yep. Ward, pay 3 life, very nice. Going to deter people from targeting our commander. And at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature, which is great. We can use that to sacrifice a creature that we want to sacrifice and have it trigger its ability and then bring it back with Charade. Super stuff. Okay, I think now we're on to the final bit, yeah? Instants and sorceries. So I've mixed them all up together. There's a total of 20 instant and sorceries in the deck, all mixed up. Let's begin with these at the front. So I've got a few cards in this deck to help protect our commander, and I wanted them to cost the least amount of mana possible. So these are just 1-drops, and they're really good, really handy. Basically, they all kind of do the same thing, but I'll read them quickly for you. So Professor's Warning, choose one, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So if we have 1 mana open and someone does try to remove Charade, we can use these to protect it. It's the same with Supernatural Stamina. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies. Return to the battlefield tapped. Nice. Armor of Shadows. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible. And finally, Undying Malice. Until end of turn, target creature gains when this creature dies. Return to the battlefield tapped under its own control with a 1/1 counter. Nice, very good. Now we have some removal spells. The classic Doomblade, destroy target non-black creature, instant speed, solid stuff. And also, the card art is so good. I remember when I first started playing Magic, this is one of my most favorite cards, just because I thought it looked so badass. But anyway, yeah. Infernal Grasp, quickly becoming one of my favorite removals in mono black. Destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. Solid, instant speed. Feed the Swarm, an interesting one, subjective, some like it, some don't. It's a sorcery speed spell, destroy target creature or enchantment and opponent controls. That enchantment bit is very relevant, it can be very good in Commander. You lose life equal to that permanent's mana value, so you've got to be careful with that one. Tragic Slip, this is amazing in the deck because we're mostly hitting it for the morbid costs, casting it for the morbid costs. Instant speed, target creature gets -13 until end of turn. This is nuts, and you can destroy indestructible creatures with this one. Bitter Triumph, instant speed, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card or pay 3 life. Usually I'm paying the 3 life, but you can be discarding the card if Charade's out, because it is a creature of power 1 or less, you can get it back, which is pretty cool. I'm sure that works, yeah. Because whenever a creature with power 1 is put into your graveyard, yeah, I'm pretty sure that works. So yeah, awesome. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Eaten Alive. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice creature, which is great. We're going to be sacrificing creatures in this deck, so why not? Exile target creature or planeswalker. Sorcery speed, only 1 mana, very good. Bone Shards, very similar. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice creature or discard a card. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Corrupted Conviction. So this gets interesting. We're going to be using this one to sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards. There's a few cards in the deck similar, like Village Rites, Reckoner's Bargain, and of course Deadly Dispute. They all pretty much do the same thing. They're going to help us sacrifice creatures to draw 2 cards and create things as well. So it's just solid, helps us get the ball rolling, streamline the deck, draw many cards, helps us do what we've got to do, find our win pieces. Nasty End, instant spell, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards, yep, similar. Okay, then we have some tutors in this deck. We have 3 tutors, and it's the classic Diabolic Tutor, which says search library for a card and put that card into your hand, and then shuffle your library. We have Beseech the Queen. I'm excited to try this one. Still haven't had a chance to cast it. Only costs us 3 black mana, or we can use generic mana, but we're not in this deck. Search library for a card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control. Reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle. So we can use these tutors to search for our win pieces, cards like Grey Merchant of Asphodel, for example, help us do what we got to do. And the last one is a really interesting one, and that is Mausoleum Secrets. Undergrowth, search your library for a black card with converted mana costs less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So yeah, I know, chances are we probably don't have too many cards, creature cards in our graveyard with this deck, but we will have the odd few. So early game we can use this to search for very important pieces such as Viscera Seer, which can help us, you know, this creature here, where is he? Viscera Seer. We can search this early game with Mausoleum Secrets, and it's going to help us sacrifice creatures, which is very relevant. So I feel like this is a pretty decent card for the deck. Very cool. And finally, the last card in the deck is Exsanguinate. I love this card. Late game monster. If you have enough mana available, you can wipe the whole board. Very similar to Grey Merchant of Asphodel, but you have to pump the mana into this one. Each opponent loses X life. You gain it, life equal to life lost this way. I've won so many games of this in the past. I've used it to help me out in sticky situations because I've gained so much life with it. Solid piece of kit, always performs well, but the later the game, obviously, the better. Nice way to help close out a game. So yeah, that's my my budget-friendly Shirei Shizo Caretaker deck. I adore this deck. It's really fun to play. It's powerful too. Didn't cost me much. Like I said before, you most likely have a lot of these cards at home in your boxes that you don't touch, your bulk boxes, or in your decks. You can break them apart and take some of the cards out. That's what I did. I broke apart one of my decks to build this deck, and loads of stuff was found in my bulk, so I didn't have to order too much at all. So yeah, pretty budget friendly, very fun, very powerful, great commander, definitely worth trying out. And if you are going to get him, get this one that I've got here, the full art one. It looks so cool. I mean, this green color, the art, superb stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think of this commander, what you think of my deck. I've added my Moxfield link below, so you can check out the deck online. You can copy it, you can build it yourselves. That would honestly be an honor. That'd be so cool if you guys did that. Mix it up, change some stuff, do what you want. But yeah, check out the deck. Let me know if there's anything you think I should change or I should add. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, take care and goodbye. See you later.